G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the G1 Vintage G1 reissue of Optimus Prime. Now, if I remember correctly, this came out, I think, in 2019. It doesn't have the trailer or anything. It is just the cab, but this was one of our more recently reissue releases of G1 Optimus Prime. Now, I will admit that, yes, the Tumblr video went longer than expected, and I probably didn't need to do this, but trust me, I needed to do this again. So here we have a remake of G1 Optimus Prime, and in hindsight, I should actually grab my G2 just for a decent comparison too afterwards. As you can see, he has two guns. This is the original one that came with the G1 version, and this is one of the reissue guns. I will like I said, I'll bring the G2 figure in a second, and you can see exactly what details got changed from the G1 version. Like I said, I do have the G2. I did have the G1. I did originally have the G1 figure. Unfortunately, mine is lost to time and childhood, so that went bye-bye. The stickers you do apply yourself, if I remember correctly, because mine are all crooked, so take that for what it's worth. But yeah, he does look good. Lovely yellow eyes. I believe they made some changes on the mouth plate there. So yeah, he does look good. He's nice and shiny. Thankfully, I haven't played with this enough to rub any chrome off. This guy usually stays in alt mode on my shelf that I have now basically made my G1 reissue shelves. And as always, basically this guy, along with all my mini bots, got originally done a long while back, but considering things, I think they deserved a bit of a proper review, even as simple as they are. And simple is not always bad. So there we go. So we'll take the guns, have his hands, laser rifles, ion blasters, whichever you want to call it. And we'll get down to articulation. So head can look up long ways, although that's transformation. I have a very tight shoulder. No outwards. I suppose you could say a backwards butterfly joint. You have bicep rotation. You have elbow that gets you that far. Surprisingly, you have wrist, which for those of us in the know why. There's no fingers, there's no thumb. There is no ab crunch. Legs go back that far and go forward that far. You do have a knee, which was surprising back in the day, to get you that far. There is no ankle tilt. There is toe bend down and up, but that's more for transformation. And there is no heel. And as I said, this guy came on its own. He does not have a trailer or anything. So there is that. But he does show off some of the old Diaclone gimmick. I believe it was Diaclone that the Transformers were originally. We'll get down to transformation and, we'll go from there. So, parts forming first. We're going to unplug his hands. There is two potential things you lost as a kid. You either lost Prime's hand or you lost his gun. I believe I had one hand left and I lost his gun. So I will show you storage that I'm pretty sure the majority of us used. Also the stacks spin, but I don't want to do that because then I'm going to start loosening things up. So we can fold the head back. Lift the arms up. And then you're going to fold these back. Get them over that little piece there. Fold your hand in. Now, there is a tab here in there, but doesn't really need it, but it's there, so take it for what it's worth. Flip up your legs. Make sure that they end up in the groove, like so. Flip your toes back, and there is G1 Optimus. I have to get his shoulder squeeze. There is G1 Optimus in his alt mode. The stunning truck that we all fell in love with as kids. So that's a great thing. It does roll. perfectly roll. It's got rubber tires, chromed out hubcaps and all that. Now it does have, like I said, it does have the old Diaclone gimmick. If you fold this down, you have basically, if I can focus it, your seats. One seat there, one seat there. But for those of us in the know who had these figures, that is where you put his hands so you don't lose them. There is no Matrix in there. There is no nothing like that. There was no Matrix when the G1 Prime came out. That was a 1986 movie thing. And even then, it took us forever to get one. As for weapon storage, there's none. So it's up to you if you just want to lay them across there. It's up to you. So there we go. We can get down to size comparison. There he is with Windblade. He's actually smaller in alt mode technically than Windblade. So there we go. All right, so let's get this guy back into robot mode. So all we're going to do is, for starters, we're going to tip those hands out and make sure we know where to find them. Flip that back up. We're going to fold down the legs. You do have ratchets, at least it feels like in there. Flip up the feet, which are nice and stiff, which I think is more friction. Pull out your arm. Pull out your forearm, then pull out your arm. Oh, that reminds me. We do have rub sign. I don't know how well this is going to go. So my room is too cold, or my hands are too cold. Just make it out of there. Anyway, so flip that around. So basically the head plate goes into this tab here. We can straighten our arms out if we wish. Those wheels are not going anywhere. And then we come back with our fists and plug them back in. Parts forming was a very, very big thing to the oops, I'm completely unfocused while I'm doing this. Was a very, very big part of the 1984 lineup. I can't speak for all of them. Obviously, the mini-bots didn't have it, but the likes of the Seekers did. Megatron had a little bit of parts forming, which was more taking the gun off and putting it on his arm, and I think getting rid of the barrel. I never had G1 Megatron. I'm after a G1 Megatron, or at least a reissue. So, at least with Optimus, all you had to worry about was his hands, his guns, his trailer, and roller, which this figure did not come with. But we can arm him up with one of his guns. So it's this port, not this handle. He's not holding that by any chance. There we go. And I'll hold off to the other gun. So we can do a size comparison. Here he is with MP10. So he's a bit of a brighter red, even in my lighting, and I do need to give him a bit of a dusting. But honestly, if you really, 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 really pay attention, you can actually see his inspiration in him if you really look at it. Now, I can't speak for MPO1, and I want to say it was MPO3, but I could be wrong. But if I straighten out MP10's arms, you can actually see, even though his are a little bit longer, the proportions are about the same. And the transformation, honestly, is pretty much identical. This is more sophisticated, but everything this guy does translates to him with a few more extra steps. And for final size comparison, here he is with G2 Optimus Prime, who was very well loved. The stickers are a bit off the mark, and I've got a lot of paint chipping, but I got this guy, I want to say around, I think it was about 13, 14 when I got him. Which I believe G2 is really, actually I'm probably not that old. No, I stopped collecting when I was about stopped Transformers when I was about 12. So probably about 9, 10 I got this guy. I remember, long story short, I wanted to buy this guy. He cost $67 if I remember correctly. And I'm like, I don't have enough money. I have like $30. So I had to plead my father to give me the extra $37 to buy him. and it took a bit to do. But we can do one comparison with this guy that he doesn't have to worry about anymore, but he does. And this is the gun syndrome. Now, despite the fact that some of my joints are very loose nowadays, I can show you, this is basically your G1 gun. If you put it in this hand, he can barely hold it. You can see it's mostly sticking out and easily dropped. Your G1 Optimus would have to hold his gun relatively like that. So he couldn't shoot straight, and my elbow's a bit wonky. So I can do one comparison, whereas I'll take his left hand and I'll take his left hand. There. And if you look very carefully, and I'll just put it off to the side just so I can get the focus to work. Sometimes I really think I need to get like a backboard to make this easier. See if I can get that to focus. So this is your G2 Optimus hand. And here is your G1 Vintage. You can do it this way. So apart from a slight variation in color, you can see this raised section. That's what actually allows, and I think they actually changed the peg a little bit. That's what actually allows the newer Prime to actually hold his gun straight. They actually had to lift his, I suppose, the inner part of his hand up so he could actually hold his gun straight. So literally they had to resolve an issue that every one of us who got G1 Optimus Prime or even G2 Optimus Prime couldn't do, which was he couldn't hold his gun straight. And now, thankfully, because of that long peg in this one and with the other one, he's finally able to shoot straight. He doesn't have to shoot the Decepticons from an angle. So there we go. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment, and apart from that, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.